you for joining me once again. Welcome back to my channel. Finally, the Nigerian situation, the Nigerian conundrum has been tendered on the United Nations altar. I mean, what we have is a man who is with the European Union. I said the only way for Nigeria to have its people secured is for the South to split away from the North. In fact, he said the South must split into 3 regions and the North must split into the 3 regions. That if today the United Nations fails to intervene, that if today the world continue to keep quiet, that when indeed the real genocide begins, it might just be too late for the people of the Christians in the South, in the Middle Belt, to be saved. We must understand that so many threats has been given by the northern jihadists to the southerners. In fact, a response was given to Donald Trump and to the Pope Leo. When the northern jihadists, they just abducted a pastor in the north. They abducted this pastor, released his video, and said to the world that they are in control of the territorial integrity of some particular areas in the north. And those areas, Christians will not be allowed to hold sway. And in a matter of time, Nigeria will fall to the caliphate. You see, we are in serious trouble, my people. And what I know is just clear. Whether we like it or not, the solution to this country is a complete restructuring. Indeed. Because take a look at the politics. For many years, the politics has always been about bigotry. It's always been the turn of the North. The South is better than the North. The North are more religious than the South. The South are too scandalous. The North are too retrogressive. This argument, Nigeria will never move forward. There's no way. And the funniest thing is, everybody knows the real solution. Most especially, these are politicians in the South and the Middle Belt. But when the insecurity, when this horrible experiences has never happened to them or their family members, of course they will continue to support this one Nigerian conundrum. Yes, because most of these politicians in the South and in fact in the Middle Belt, most of them have their kids outside the country. And they know that under one Nigeria, they remain unaccountable. Of course, they are unaccountable. How do you hold your state governor accountable when there's no state police? How do you hold your regional development commissions when there are no significant positions they hold? They do not have any form of apparatus to secure the people. They are not in charge of immigration. They are not in charge of basic things. So you cannot really hold them accountable. Even when they commit atrocities, you know that the person that should hold them accountable is the federal. But the federal will always compromise because they want to retain power. And this is where the problem lies, because all Nigerians, for many years, we have an issue. And that issue is the fact that we have been wired to concentrate on the center. And it is that center that causes the division. It is that center that causes the animosity. It is that center that causes that jealousy and envy. In a situation whereby we are managing our regions just as the United Nations has postulated for us, they said we should become a confederation of states. We should have United Nation of Nigerian of states. That is what we should be called, just as United Kingdom did, just as European Union did. That if care is not taken, it's just a matter of time. The atrocity that might happen in Nigeria, the world might not be able to contain it. Because one, Nigeria is too populous. Over 200 million people. Look at the Sudan issue. There are just less than 100 million in Sudan. Now imagine what would happen if Nigeria is being left this way to continue. And I dare say that we need the international support to help us. Sincerely. Sudan today would have been worse for the Christians, particularly those in the southern Sudan, if the United Nations, if America have not intervened. In fact, all those rapid security force, all those guys that have been buying the moderate Muslims in Sudan, they would have wiped out almost 90% of the South Sudanese population. But because immediately as at 2012, when they had a referendum, they went on their own. They cannot blame the central government of the Sudan again now. They will face their South Sudanese government. There won't be an avenue for argument or denial. This is what restructuring brings. It brings government closer to the people. Everybody will know where they belong. Everybody will be able to hold themselves accountable. A man who is in the Ragbiji will not be looking up to Tinubu at Abuja. A man who is in Sambisa forest will understand that it is state police that will protect my Sambisa forest. Yes. But here we are as a nation, we just want to push ourselves to the, to the cliff of that rock. We want to push ourselves to the verge, to the tip. No, this must never be our case, because the European Union, I know they might be doing this maybe just for optics, but what must be truly done is there must be a real intervention. The Nigerian state, the Nigerian government are not ready. They're not ready to shift a bit, particularly in the north. They are not ready to shift a bit. I saw a video the last time. Buratai, the former chief, in fact, Buratai is the longest serving chief of army staff. He said that the bandits will use 20 years. Imagine. He said that the bandits, these Fulani militias, these terrors, that they will use 20 good years. Counting, I think the issue started in 2012. So they've used approximately, if I'm not mistaken, 12 to 13 years. So we have 7 more years to go. So you can see that the Buratai statement is so instructive. Yes, it's so instructive. Because if in 20 years these people can sustain themselves, if in 20 years Nigerian government, Nigerian military, Nigerian police are not restructured, the Nigerian constitution itself is not amended, then you must understand that in 20 years, this dastard element would have wrapped up the whole nation. They would have surrounded all the perimeters of this nation, and if you dare say anything otherwise, you will pay for it. You pay a very, very high price for it. And this is the issue, and this is why we say that Tinubu, you have the chance now. The southern Nigerian people have made up their mind. You cannot ask 1,000 southern Nigerian people that will tell you that they are against restructuring. Yes, we might have some southern Nigerians who might say, okay, we don't want to secede. But I will tell you categorically that 100% of the Nigerian southern population want a total restructure of the country. Let us have our own resource control. Let us have our state police. Let us have everything within our wavelength that we can monitor, we can control, particularly our immigration, our education. But in a situation whereby we just mumble everything together, the doors, the borders, everything is open, everything is just a recipe for crisis and anarchy. The southern Nigerians have made up their mind. Ever since the Tinubu came on board, the Middle Belt towns have even joined the southern Nigeria. That the Middle Belt towns are now saying they don't want to be part of Arewa anymore. That they don't want to be. Now they know their heritage. They don't want to be part of southern Nigeria anymore. Northern Nigeria anymore. Because what the Arewa people simply want is a Sharia country. What the Arewa people, what those Fulanis, Islamic extremists, what they want is a country that is governed by the Sharia laws. Yes, this is what they want. A theocratic state. That is what they want. And this is why you see them, most often than not, they are always sympathetic to these bandits. I mean, one of their most revered cleric, religious cleric, a supposed man of God calling himself Shegumi, has said so many nonsensical things, saying that the bandits now, he spoke with them, that one thing they want from the President Tinubu is you should assure them that when they lay down their guns, they will not be arrested, that they will not be vilified, that in fact they should get scholarships, that they should get scholarship abroad. This is what Shegumi is telling us. Oh God. When we regionalize, Shegumi will be the one feeding these bandits. By that time, we will know that these people cannot just run mad and walk into Kogi anyhow. When we fully marginalize, restructure, okay, these people will not be able to catwalk, graze their cattle into places like Oshun, into places like Enugu. They wouldn't have that audacity to do it. They are the biggest beneficiary of the one Nigerian constitution. That 99 constitution that was, brought forward by Abdul Salam was a trap. It was a trap. That 1999 handover was nothing but a Trojan horse. And this is why we are here today, so trapped. There's no going forward. There's no going backward. We are just in a circle, revolving in one particular position. Take a look at Nigeria in 1999. What significant development have we had? What significant development? Having access to phones? Is that it? That happened under a certain president. Then we had BVN. That happened under who? Jonathan. Right? Under Buhari, what significant technology, shall I say, paradigm shift did we have in terms of our technology, in terms of anything? What did we have? Because our philosophy is different. Buhari came back. When Buhari ruled, Buhari brought back Islamic radicalism. That was what he just returned back to Nigeria. The extremists became very loud. They become more emboldened. They become more threatened. He was recruiting repentant bandits into the military. That was who Buhari was. That was who he simply was. So he made banditry a lucrative business, though very dangerous and very demonic. However, your sins will be forgiven for as long as you are a Fulani man. I mean, that was what Buhari brought. Meanwhile, while his southern counterparts are bringing, groundbreaking innovations, things that shifted the Nigerian economy in about 50,000 folds. We knew how Obasanjo was able to recover and reposition the Nigerian economy despite the high debt we had. We knew how Jonathan was pushing Nigeria to over a $500 billion economy as way back as 2013. But the North came in, Buhari came in, he destroyed everything. We must split. Yes, let us have our regional system. Just as the United Nations, just as the European Union has postulated. The South must not continue to keep quiet. We cannot continue to keep quiet. There are so many elites in the South that want to, support this cause. But we as Southerners and Middle Belters, our larger population must begin to speak up that Nigeria should peacefully now restructure herself so that we won't have the situation that is in Congo today, so that we won't have the situation that is in Sudan today. Thank you very much. You will not spend more than 12 o'clock by 2027. These were the words that came from the bottom of Herify some months ago. He said this on the national TV, and he said it with all assurance that things will happen in the coming weeks, and these are the things that will send him packing, because Tinubu will become so much unpopular in the north. You guys will understand that there have been very many attempts. The first was a coup, followed by that the American intervention, which made Nigeria become so demarketed. But today, the bandits, Fulani militias, the ISWAPs and the Boko Harams have suddenly regained their strength. So I want to ask, did Buhari really disrupt the bandits, or they just lay low because he is their brothers? Because whether we like it or not, Buhari and these bandits, it has been reported in so many cases that he imported them. Whether we like it or not, the bandits and Buhari share the same ethnic and religious bias. Fulanis, Islamic, extremist or fanatic, the same thing with the bandits. So could it be that these people were paid and then they agreed that, okay, for the next 8 years, yes, we might be attacking, but it will just be, some little form of attack? Because I want to believe that if Buhari are truly, there's absolutely nothing Nigerians cannot do. There's a lot of propaganda. Nigerians can hack drama. Have you forgotten how Obasanjo in those days told us that Yar'Adua was still alive? They made a fake phone call. So at this stage, I would not find it impossible wherein these bandits lay low for their brother. And now that their brother is gone, and Tinubu wants to do a lot of things like restructuring, constitutional amendment, maybe they've seen that, they've perceived it, and this is why the attack has increased. A Brigadier General Abu was ambushed. General Abu was one hell of a thorn in the flesh to the bandits, to the militias, to these terrorists. He was ambushed when he was out there with his battalion. A general was arrested with they said they were alive two. Two civilian JTF, and then they took him. They took him alive amidst battalion of soldiers. There's fire on the mountain. I repeat, there's fire on the mountain. For Tinubu